I think that was the year that I found myself driving down the road with my little boy in the car, and I thought I was having a heart attack. And I felt myself sitting on a stoop at a store, and my little boy saying, "Mommy, are you okay? Are you okay?" He was terrified. I was terrified, and you know what I said? I'm fine. I still said I'm fine. My neighbor came and got him. I went to the hospital, had every test run, and I realized then I wasn't fine. I was not having a heart attack, but I had so much anxiety trapped inside me. That was one of the first moments I knew that when I got on the other side of that adversity and found the road to go on the other side of that adversity, that was when I was going to be able to use the expertise of what that felt like to help other women. And that was in 2010. That was in 2010.
So what would you say has been your biggest challenge?
What is my biggest challenge in general? Is that what you meant?
I'm sorry, I missed that.
Oh, did you say what is my biggest
what
challenge?
What has been or is your biggest challenge?
In business or in that mindset work? I just want to make sure I'm answering with what you're looking for.
Well, I'm looking for what was maybe a big obstacle you had to overcome in order to get to where you are?
Oh, hands down, my belief in myself. Hands down. That's the answer. Because if you read that About Me page on my website, all the things that I believed, it was my limited beliefs. I had to get past, oh my gosh, the damage I had done to myself for so many years, telling myself false truth stories and believing them, believing that everybody was better, believing that I wasn't worthy. Oh, that person's worthy. She's worthy. I'm not. I didn't see it for myself. That's why I was such a people pleaser. Hands down was my limited belief stories. It ended up paralyzing me for many years, but that's a gift in itself because God wastes nothing. He doesn't waste any part of our story. And I needed those years as a place to cultivate my calling.
Okay, so in working with women, would you say that may have been one of their common challenges, or have you found something else as being the greatest challenge that women face?
Absolutely. In my work, like I said, when I do market research and I ask for what they're going through, it's often the same. It's comparison, and women, they don't see other women's answers. You know, I do a survey or I put questions out to individuals. It's comparison, not feeling worthy. They are possibly fear-based, but that's the side effect of the root, which is the roots of all those are anger, fear. Well, I have to say they are trapped. Anger, fear, grief, blame, guilt, and shame. And I really want to say this too for your listeners. The first place that I start with women, especially if I'm working one-on-one, but when I work in workshops too, one of the questions that I ask is, are you ready for change? I think that's the other thing that stops women is that they're not ready. And the way you know you're ready is if you don't just want to call your girlfriends anymore and talk it out for the millionth time. Because that's one of the things that kept me stuck. Before I started trusting God, there's nothing wrong with calling our girlfriends. But you want to make sure you're calling your tribe of women that are going to be like, if you feel like you're in a well with butter on the sides and you're in the well of your story and you're feeling your emotions that I just listed, make sure you have a friend that's going to go get a rope for you and not jump in with you. Because if really what you're looking for is a friend to jump in that well with you and swim in that muck that we live in, you're not ready. I often refer to the story of Jesus at the healing pool, and he walked by the man that was paralyzed. And there's so many metaphors to that story, but one that I look at is the thing that he asked him is, do you want to be well?
Yes.
because I don't want to waste a woman's time if they're not ready. That's what I was talking about on the first call about the gap between adversity and peace. When you're ready to close that gap, like the adversity could be way over, on one side, like the Scarecrow and the Wizard of Oz, like my arm's over here. You stretch out your right arm, and then your peace is way over there on the other side. When you're ready to close that gap, that's when you know you're ready. And I think that's I just had to mention it because that's super important.
Okay, let's take time now for you to share your information that any of our listeners would be able to reach you if they choose to.
Oh, perfect. And again, thank you for asking. I'm happy to share. My email is Marlo Rutz. I always say, sorry, Marlo at marlorutz.com is my email. Marlo at marlorutz.com. MarloRutz. My website is simply marlorutz.com. Facebook, you can find me. It's my Reveal to Heal page. Just click join, and I will. It's like an approval, and then you're in the community. It's a community that I have to give out free content. Not just me, other people. I give content from other people, interviews, and then on YouTube is where I store all of a lot of my content. It's not something I really promote. If you want to share something from there, beautiful, thanks. But I don't work on growing it. It's like a container, so it's under Marlo Rutz. I also invite everybody to join me. You could go to my main page on marlopanisrutz.com or my Reveal to Heal page on Facebook. Every Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, I do a show, long story, from my basement in a space that we lovingly call the cubby hole. And I do interviews because the idea is to shine light on people and their gifts, but then bring inspiration and hope to the audience. So join me there every Friday, and the replays are on all of those platforms as well.
So of all the things you've done in your life, what do you see as the one that is the most important, or your purpose, or the thing you have been called to do?
What is the most important of all of them?
Yeah, maybe the thing that you think, this is it.
Professionally,
or do you have one of those?
There isn't. I can honestly say there is not one favorite, because like I was explaining it's like a thread, and they all fit together. So it's like the necklace of what I do, all of it. And but most importantly too, for me, is it starts with my family though. It starts with my relationship with God, surrendering to my flesh and my own understanding is the most important thing I have done for myself. And I think it was on this call that I mentioned that I was the opposite of having a relationship with Jesus. The opposite. So my relationship with Jesus, trusting God, and then my family, being a good mom, being a good wife, being present for them. But then as far as my career, I really couldn't answer because they all fit together like a puzzle.
Okay. I want to thank you for joining us for this two sessions and for sharing your heart and your work with us, your life with us. We only have like a minute again to wrap up. So again, can you in 1 minute or less encapsulate your one thought that you want to leave with our audience?
Decide if you're ready. Please reach out to me. First of all, please reach out to me, and I will send you my free gift of the 5 strategies for adversity and peace. Decide if you're ready and you want change, and honor and trust that your stories are what are guiding you in this world. The limited beliefs are either going to paralyze you, or your truths are going to propel you into the greatness that you're called to be.
So, Marlo, I want to thank you again. I absolutely enjoyed having you on my podcast, and
Thank you. It was an honor.
I'm hoping that our listeners will reach out to you and would literally see if they can get help from you. So once again, I want to say thank you, and we will catch up with you. Good luck with everything that you're doing, and God bless.
Thank you. God bless you too. Thank you so much. I love the time with you.
Thank you for listening to Jadoo Lifestyle, and join us again for another episode where you can have a life and live it too.